Hello there. So years ago, I found a way to enter Gerudo Town without the need of the outfit. Being one of the first videos I made though, the quality was... oh man, what was I thinking? I mean, I didn't talk then, and so that text is... oh god. Alright, I think it's time to redo it. Luckily, over the years, I've learned more and more about how Breath of the Wild itself works in my many adventures destroying this game. And today, me and Sir Hamilton here are going to not only explain how to break in without the outfit in several different ways, one that my 3-year-old could handle, but also why this works. Probably.
So get ready, because we're gonna go streaking through a town filled with women and children.
Hamilton! No!
Oh, you know, when I say it out loud, yeah, that's messed up. Why do people want to do this? Can I at least go streaking through the Korok Forest? Everyone's naked there.
You know what? Yeah, you can. Let's get started. First, the final result of my original method looks pretty weird. I even made a joke about how ridiculous the method looks in another video quoting SpongeBob.
First go like this, spin around, stop, double take 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then pelvic thrust. Woo! Woo! Stop on your right foot, don't forget it. Now it's time to bring it around town. Bring it around town. Then you do this, then this, and this, then that, and this, and that, and this, and that, and then...
Alright, here's what you do. You save here, run forward and jump, hop down, hop up, Rivali's Gale while rotating the camera, lift off, wind bump, giving the camera a little flick for good luck, tilt the camera down at the ground and then back up to Gerudo Town, and boom! Seems crazy and difficult, right? Is all of this even necessary? Yeah, probably. Maybe. At least 40% of it.
All of this is just to ensure that one single trigger doesn't load the right way so we can run around freely. Look at it! It's cowering in fear!
Alright, here we go. Memory manipulation. Probably should have started somewhere easier, but we are breaking reality so we can break into a town, so let's get started and break down my old method. If this gets too confusing, don't worry about it too much. All of this is on the test. So it starts up, Link loads in, and everything around him loads in, along with what's in the camera's view. And this appears to take priority. Moving forward, things will load and unload around Link in very small scale that's not really impacting much here. A good example would be if you've ever been on a fast horse, you may see grass pop in and out in front of you. By hopping down, the camera snaps east, starting that whole loading-unloading process of what's in the camera. Small scale things, but this is nothing that the game can't handle. Get Rivali's Gale going because you need that to go up. Bringing the camera around to load and unload more things, probably. But the biggest thing is that big boy back there. That massive sandstorm. Out of all my tests with this, whenever that sandstorm wasn't present, it was a whole lot harder to break in. From here, it's just a matter of releasing Rivali's Gale and starting a horizontal wind bomb. Don't know how to do one of those? Don't worry about it. Quick flick back before firing off the wind bomb because I'm superstitious apparently. Looking down at the ground just before entering Gerudo Town and then looking back up seems to be the magic ticket. Hang on a second, what was that? Can you rewind? Zoom and enhance. That's a thing, right? Huh. Wonder what that means.
Campfires! You guys got any s'more stuff? I'm hungry.
Alright, now that we've confused literally everyone, let's throw all of that out the window and talk about campfires. When you rest at a campfire, the game reloads the entire cell or area that you're in. Oh yeah, the game is broken up into a grid of quadrants. I went pretty far into that into the original video, but it doesn't really matter all that much. Moving on. By looking up at the sky before you rest at the campfire, it messes with what needs to be loaded because clouds or something?
Must Load clouds!
So if you were to make a campfire outside of, say, Gerudo Town, looking up, resting, and then bolting inside, you'll get around 5 seconds of free time in town. But that's not nearly enough to do really anything. But the reloading is the important lesson here, not the 5 seconds of freedom. But with increased movement speed, you might be able to get in there and buy the Gerudo outfit or something.
Horse magic, do go on.
Like most games, horses are really broken in this game.
And not to mention soft, so soft. I love you, Wondercorn.
Well, mounts in general are broken. I did wrong warp a bear after all. But one horse magic trick pushes that memory manipulation we've been talking so much about to a whole new level. There's a glitch called apparatus glitch, most commonly used to steal the master sword before a campfire glitch was discovered, and getting max heart stamina. Activating apparatus glitch by interrupting the apparatus and watching a memory, you can control the apparatus while moving. Did you just fast forward me?
Maybe.
How?
Anything's possible with horse magic.
I mean, you're not wrong. By reloading a save in which you're on a mount with apparatus glitch active, you get forcefully dismounted, all while still in a pseudo-mounted state. It's horse magic, it doesn't have to make sense. This will persist until you warp, or get on a horse. But when you do warp, the game starts to load the area that you warped to. But also, because of that pseudo-mounted state, it puts Link back on the horse, which then has to snap back to the horse. This causes a giant mess trying to load the new area while unloading the old area simultaneously. This gives you upwards of 30 seconds of freedom before triggers are loaded while it tries to load in high poly objects, high res textures, NPCs, rocks, grass, etc. Now this method is amazing and would have led us into Gerudo Town a very long time ago. But horses can't go into the desert, and even if they could, mount respawn coordinates are not updated in this region and thus cannot save, as they're not supposed to be here. As demonstrated by me bringing a bear and a deer into the desert, and even into Gerudo Town. But why does this even matter then? The final and easiest method causes this to occur without the magic of a horse. It's still horse magic though.
Streaking? Streaking? Yeah, let's do it! Still weird.
For this method, we're gonna need 3 or more octo balloons, a bow,
Multi-shot bows if you're not a peasant.
a shock arrow, cause it's purty, wood, fire, and 0 arrows of something. Slap down your campfire near Gerudo Town. Come over here to a flattish spot against the wall. We're gonna be doing something called active arrow smuggling. Whip out your magnesis and fire it off, and before it actually finishes getting finished... What? Who wrote this? While the little squiggles are out, hold 2 to 3 balloons. I do 3, but 2 also works, but just less often for me, so I just go with 3. Now unpause and pull back a shock arrow. Because of the magnesis being out, you instantly drop the balloons. Once your arrow is pulled back, pause and drop the bow. Now unpause and mash like there is no tomorrow. If done correctly, you'll be holding an active arrow and it's going all bzzz. Look at them particles. Now it's also possible that instead of getting an active arrow, you might dupe the bow. If this happens, just try again. If it was successful though, your bow will be underground, above ground, existing, not existing, in your inventory, not in your inventory, but also being pulled up by a balloon. After a little bit, it'll drift away, drifting is important, and it'll eventually pop. And then it's going to start falling underground. Underground being in quotation marks because it's just empty down here. I am very impressed that the Bokos and the Zolfos and whatnot are building these caves for Tears of the Kingdom. Below the vast empty is the world's water supply. And below that is the void. which your bow is going to start falling into forever, gaining distance from Link constantly. So stand around for 2 to 3-ish minutes so it gets super far from Link, but not too far. There is a threshold you don't want to cross, and it's whenever it becomes a floating light instead of an arrow. But if you do wait the right amount of time, unequip the shock arrow by equipping that arrow that you have 0 of, sit around for about a second, and then re-equip the shock arrow. If you have no arrow right now, or a really flickery one, then it's time. No arrow is the best though. That means you waited the perfect amount of time. Now, something important to note, that arrow is still linked to that bow you didn't pick up that fell, didn't fall, is underground, above ground, everywhere, nowhere, all at the same time.
Wait, what?
So after we look up and rest at a campfire, confusing the game even further, we now have a chunk of the void loading in while it tries to then load in Gerudo Town, and also some fireworks. And now you can enjoy upwards of 30 seconds in Gerudo Town, which surprisingly is a long time. Eventually, NPCs will finally load in, and you can talk to whoever you want to talk to. But once you do, or if you pause the game, everything will instantly load in correctly. So make whatever you're gonna do count. Because even if you pause for a frame, which would be 16 milliseconds, that is the world to a computer. It can do so much because you're not actively playing the game. Now I can actually demonstrate even further that it is a distance factor between the bow and the arrow that is causing this to occur. By performing this on a flatter surface? I'm not entirely sure. Point is, balloon goes up instead of down, so the bow remains at the original location, and if Link runs like there's no tomorrow away from it, we can start seeing that same flickery effect occur. And running back, we'll see the normal effect occur. Also, it can be shown by riding a horse aggressively away from the bow. And that's it. This can also be used to run through the Lost Woods without getting caught.
Oh yeah! Woohoo! This is all I ever wanted!
The Koroks scooping you up are actually just a bunch of triggers that grab you, similar to Gerudo Town. Just gotta outrun them. Now, run along, be free, and do whatever weird things you want to do in Gerudo Town. Also, subscribe. This is only the tip of the iceberg of what I've done to this game, and I will be doing so much more in Tears of the Kingdom.